Hi, I'm Asia. Welcome back to the Strange Days Diaries. Today we're going to talk all about my Astro van and just Astro van tips and tricks in general. I've had my 1990 Chevy Astro van since 2020. I've lived and traveled in it off and on now for going on 4 years, which is awesome to say, kind of crazy. So since I've had it for 4 years, a fair share of things have gone wrong or that have broken that I've needed to fix that now I want to share with you. And hopefully will help you if you have an Astro van, and maybe will help you especially if you're looking to build out an Astro van to travel in. And definitely stick to the end of the video, because my number one tip that has saved me like the most out of all of them will be at the very end, so you definitely won't want to miss that. And if you have an Astro van, I can almost guarantee you this has been a problem, and I have absolutely found a solution for it, so definitely stick to the end. So let's get into it. I have an old 1990 Chevy Astro van, and if you have an Astro van, it's probably old too. I don't think they're even being made anymore, so they're probably old. And with that being said, the flooring typically isn't that great. A lot of these Astro vans have been in and out of a lot of different owners, so who knows what has been spilled on the floor or what has happened on the floor. A lot of the floors are kind of nasty, like with the carpeting, so I came up with a bit of a solution for it. A lot of people like to put hardwood floor down or matting down of some kind, or just carpet in general, just essentially replacing the carpet, the original carpet. And the solution I've come up with actually is this hard mat. It's kind of like gym matting, mats that you would find in like a gym. I bought them online. I forget exactly where I bought it. I'll have to insert a clip of exactly where I bought it here. But I bought this gym mat, a huge roll of it actually, and I basically cut out the exact dimensions of my floor, cutting around the front seats, and just placed that whole one piece onto the floor. I think that this is a great solution because a lot of people use matting or like foam flooring that you might find in like a kid's playpen or something, but it's a bunch of squares of mats kind of meshed together. And I'm sure that through time and over time, and I've seen this through other van lifer videos, the different tiles will start separating through time just because of the weather cooling or warming up, and just because of general use walking on the floor. And so I think that one whole piece is actually a great solution for replacing your floor. I also like the mat because it's relatively lightweight. I know that wood can be kind of heavy, and if we know anything about these vans, we know that preserving as much of a miles per gallon as possible is best. So yeah, this was just my solution for replacing my disgusting old original van carpet. I also keep this really nice big rug on top of my mat flooring in my main kind of living space area, because it not only looks cool in my opinion, but it also makes the space feel a lot cozier, and it also adds some serious insulation to the space and just the floor in general. So yeah, I've got this really cool rug that I lay on top of the mat flooring in my main living space area, and then underneath the bed and stuff like that, there's no rug. So yeah, it's just basically in the main living area. My next little tip is don't try using JB Weld on your van. So the only time I've tried to use JB Weld on my van was actually when I was making my curtains for the side windows. And I'll get into how I made the curtains in a little bit, but I wanted the curtains to Velcro to the windows, and I'll show how I did that in a moment. But I wanted the Velcro to be very secure on the windows, and so I've worked with JB Weld before, and I thought that I could just glue them onto the hard plastic, and that would work very well to glue the Velcro onto the plastic with JB Weld. And it did work pretty well. It stayed very well for a few months, but then I started noticing that my Velcro was peeling off and that the JB Weld was literally melting off with the sun. And I'm not sure why, because that stuff is supposed to literally be as strong as like weld glue. I don't know. But basically, I just found over time it doesn't work. It doesn't hold onto this old plastic. I'm not sure why exactly, but just please take my advice and don't even try it on the old plastic on these old vans. You'll notice that I ended up literally taking screws and just screwing the Velcro on through the JB Weld. So it looks kind of nasty. It's not as clean as I would have liked it to look, but now it works because I had to just screw all of the Velcro pieces onto the hard plastic. Which brings me on to the next little tip, which is my curtains. So I really like my curtain solution that I've come up with. I used a felt fabric with like a light kind of pretty cute little Astro inspired pattern with the stars and the planets, you know, Astro Van, come on. And my mom helped me make them, and basically we just measured each window and cut pieces of fabric to be just slightly larger than all of the windows. And then, as I mentioned before, I use Velcro to keep them down. And the very top of the curtains are kind of permanently stuck onto the hard plastic, and basically every single day I roll them up or roll them down when it's at the end of the day, obviously, so they just stay where they are. And then when I roll them up every day that I'm traveling, I then have 3 pieces of string where I just kind of tie the rolled up curtain up to stay up. I really like this solution, especially for the Astro van, because Astro vans are tiny. Space is a premium. And so I didn't want to have oh, my little tripod just decided to fail, but anyways, we got it working again. Anyways, I really like this solution for the curtains because, yeah, space is a premium in the Astro. I didn't want curtains that I took completely off every single day and then had, you know, a stack of like hard plastic curtains or whatever the solution is, but then having those to store somewhere. I like that they just stay up all the time and I don't have to think about storing them. Another huge reason why I like this curtain solution with the Velcro is that I can actually, if I'm hanging out somewhere and I want to be in the van but have an airflow, I can pop the side windows open and kind of Velcro half of the curtain up and have the window popped open so I get that airflow, but the curtain is still kind of halfway down, so I still get that privacy that I may be wanting in the moment. And speaking of airflow in the van, you may have noticed I don't have a roof vent, and that is on purpose. A lot of these van lifers have roof vents in their vans, and I think they're awesome. I have a lot of friends and even family that have vans that have roof vents, and they're great for air circulation. But being in an Astro van, it's such a tiny van that I have found I don't need one. And the reason being is that I have my side windows that pop open. They both kind of, oh my gosh, my damn tripod keeps failing. Oh my God. Okay, hopefully it'll stay up this time. Anyways, so my side windows, they both pop open and allow for amazing airflow, especially in such a small space. Because it's such a small space, I only need a couple windows that pop open and then I get incredible airflow. And I have been in the van in triple-digit heat with this, but like with both the windows popped open, and it's been enough, but there have been times where I need even more airflow. And so that's why I have this clip-on fan that works really, really well. And I basically clip it onto one of the arms of my pop-out windows and direct the air into the van, and it cools the van off so well, especially with the added fan. And I think if you needed even more airflow, then it might be beneficial to buy a second fan to have it clipped to the other side of the van with both windows open and both fans going. So in my experience, this has been more than enough airflow, especially in triple-digit heat and just in general. And so that's why I don't think I need a roof vent, why I haven't needed a roof vent. And I'm also a huge fan of staying as stealth as possible, and in my opinion, roof vents definitely give you away as a van lifer, especially if you're doing any kind of city camping or stealth camping of any kind. All right, my next little tip and trick for Astro van owners is the dash lights. So again, I have an old 1990 van. This thing is over 30 years old, and my dash lights have burned out. And I looked into how to replace the dash lights because, you know, if I'm driving at night, I mean, it would be nice to know how many miles per hour I'm driving and if I need gas and things in general. So I looked into replacing the dash lights, and unfortunately it's a bitch to have to replace them. I have to take the entire dash apart just to replace a tiny little bulb. And so either because I'm lazy or just because, I don't know, personally I don't drive that much at night, so I haven't replaced it. But basically what I've come up with, a temporary solution that has actually worked for me really well for the past year, is buying a book light. So I bought a little book light. It's like a rechargeable LED book light, and I clip it to the edge of my dash and aim the light inside my dash, and it lights up all of my dash meters or whatever you want to call it, where I can see how fast I'm going, see if I need gas and all of that, and it lights it up really, really well, and it has worked really well for me. I just keep the reader light in my glove box and just pull it out anytime I need to use it. And it might be because I don't drive much at night, or because it's such a small light, but I have found that it doesn't need to be recharged that often. I literally go months in between needing to recharge it, and when it does need to be recharged, I have found that it takes like not even 20 minutes to fully recharge, and then it's good for months. And this has been my solution for the past year, and someday I'll replace the little light bulb inside the dash so I can actually have a proper dash light, but this has worked for now, and it would be a great solution for you too if you are lazy like me and don't want to replace the dash light. Another little thing I want to mention, tips and tricks wise for an Astro van, is my cab curtain, my sweet little cab curtain. So a lot of van lifers really want and need a little cab curtain. It's a great way to stay private when you're hanging out in the back of the van somewhere and you don't want people peeking in. And basically I've come up with a really simple solution. Actually, I got to give my dad some credit. He helped me with this. But basically, I use the same fabric as my curtains all around the van so that they all look the same. And I just simply put up paracord. I drilled some eye bolts onto the side of the van, put up some paracord, and my mom helped me cut and sew this simple cab curtain, and we just strung it up onto the string, the paracord, and voila, I have a cute little cab curtain. After traveling in the van with this cab curtain, I found that I wanted a little bit more privacy with it, and what I mean by that is that there is a slight curve to the van, and I noticed that when I'd be hanging out in the van, I could see pretty easily on the outsides of, like on the sides of the curtain. The curtain essentially wasn't covering the entire front cab. So what I did was put grommets and then a hook on the sides of the van, and that way the curtain stretches to the widest part of the van so that it covers my entire cab for ultimate privacy. All right, another little tip and trick for you Astro van owners or lovers or whatever. I don't know if this has happened to you, but it definitely happened to me. I think 2 years ago. I'd had the van for a year or two at this point, and one day I turned my hazard lights on and they wouldn't turn off, and I was freaking out because I can't just live my entire life with my hazard lights on all the time. So I called my dad freaking out, and he helped me walk through a quick solution. And basically what I had to do was take pliers and rip the plastic button off of my hazard light button. And what that revealed was this sort of like screw bolt that is kind of the inner working of the hazard button. And basically what I came up with is now anytime I turn my hazards on, I turn them on like normal. I just press the button that is now just literally a screw. And then when I want to turn them off, I take my pliers and gently pull the button out, and that turns the hazard lights off. This is very niche. It might be like literally only my problem ever, but if this has happened to you or it happens to you, just take this advice, maybe rip that outer plastic part off, and it'll reveal the little screw, and then have your pliers and kind of work on that button to pull it out, and it'll turn the hazard lights off. And finally, the time has come for me to talk about my #1 holy grail tip and trick for Astro vans, and that is the back doors leaking when it rains. So this is a huge problem for so many Astro van owners. The back doors leak when it rains, especially for the first generation Astros like mine. So a lot of people will replace the seals, like the door seals, because that's essentially what is allowing it to leak, are the seals not sealing and doing their job. But that's not exactly going to fix it. Oh my gosh, I really need to come up with a better solution for this tripod. Anyways, replacing the seals aren't exactly going to fix the problem, because it's actually, from what I understand, literally the frame, like the door frame and meeting the body, isn't built very well and creates kind of a gap, and even if you replace the seals, it still might leak. So I've come up with a brilliant solution. I have to give my dad credit because he helped me out with this solution as well, but we call it the rain magnet. And basically I bought this roll of, it's basically a dry erase roll of magnet, and I think it's like a 10 or 20 foot roll. And I basically cut off the exact length of the top edge of my doors, and I placed the magnet on top of my door seal, like on top of the door seal / gap every time it rains. And I have yet to have any problem with leaks because of this solution. It's been an incredible solution. I literally am so thrilled with it. And when it stops raining, or I don't need the rain magnet anymore, I actually just store it on top of my van, since it's a magnet and the exterior of the van is magnetic. So yeah, it's been an incredible solution. I've been in pouring rain for days on end and have never had an issue with this rain magnet solution. It's been amazing. Hi, so this is me popping in really quick. I'm just editing this video, and I just wanted to quickly say that I actually do have a very serious problem with my back doors leaking, and that's why I had to come up with some kind of a solution, and the rain magnet ended up being a beautiful, amazing solution. So I just wanted to kind of say that I'm not just saying like, oh, this works really well, having never experienced them leaking on me, because boy, have I experienced that. Definitely, absolutely. Like, I remember I was traveling through Portland once, and I was staying at a rest stop, and it started leaking on me. The back door is just dripping on me as I'm sleeping because it was pouring rain, and I didn't know my back doors leaked, and it was hell on earth. And I would just shove like random towels or like, I don't know, trash bags and stuff into the back doors and tried to make the leak stop that way. And ultimately my dad and I came up with this amazing rain magnet solution, and it's worked ever since. So I just wanted to quickly say that I do actually have a problem with my back doors leaking, and I'm not just saying this is a good solution without having experienced it. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you found a couple tips and tricks to be helpful for you if you have an Astro van yourself, or if you're looking into getting an Astro van. They're amazing vans. It's been such a joy having this van and traveling in it and just working on it over the years. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing. I will be posting lots of Astro van inspired videos, also videos about my life in San Francisco coming up soon. And leave a comment below if you have any tips and tricks for me, or if you found any of these helpful. I would love to know. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Friday. Also, before the video ends, really quick, I'm editing this, and I just wanted to quickly say that I'm gonna link all of the different things that I mentioned in this video in the description below, like the mat that I used for my flooring, and the roll of magnet that I used for my back doors, the reading light that I used for the dash lights, the rechargeable fan that I used for airflow, and yeah, all of that kind of stuff. That will be linked in the description below if you're interested. Okay, bye.